Hello everyone. Welcome to my GMB News 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The studio lights of this morning always carried a certain warmth, soft, reassuring, almost like a living room shared with millions. On that Tuesday, March 24th, everything began just the same. The music faded, the laughter from the previous segment still lingered faintly in the air, and Shephard and Deeley sat poised, ready to guide viewers into the next part of the show. But something had shifted. There was a pause, barely noticeable to some, but heavy enough to be felt. Ben glanced down at his notes, his usual easy smile replaced by something more fragile. Kat's expression, though composed, held a quiet gravity. Ben inhaled slowly. "It's time for our phone-in now," he began, his voice steady but softer than usual. "But we've just had some really devastating news about someone who has sat alongside us and taken many of your phone calls over the years." For a moment, the studio felt still. Even behind the cameras, crew members seemed to freeze, sensing the weight of what was about to come. Kat gently picked up where Ben left off, her voice carrying both grace and sorrow. "Mel Schilling, who you'll know from Married at First Sight, has sadly passed away earlier today at the age of 54, following a battle with cancer." The words hung in the air. For viewers at home, the shift was immediate. Social media feeds paused mid-scroll. Conversations halted. The name, Mel Schilling, was not just that of a television personality. For many, she was a familiar, comforting presence. A voice of reason. A face that had become synonymous with honesty, compassion, and strength. Back in the studio, Ben nodded slightly, as if grounding himself before continuing. She was an incredible woman. Truly. So full of life, so generous with her time, and always there for people when they needed guidance. Kat's eyes glistened, though she held her composure with quiet dignity. Gorgeous, colorful. That's how so many of us will remember her. She brought so much light into every room she walked into. The cameras stayed on them longer than usual, as if allowing space for the audience to process the loss together. Behind the polished world of television, Mel Schilling's journey had been one of resilience, passion, and deep empathy. Long before she became a household name, Mel had dedicated her life to understanding people, their relationships, their struggles, their hopes. Her work wasn't about drama or spectacle, it was about connection. About helping individuals navigate the complexities of love and self-worth. When she joined Married at First Sight, she brought something unique. While the show thrived on unpredictable romances and emotional highs and lows, Mel grounded it. She was the voice that cut through confusion, offering clarity without judgment. Viewers trusted her. They believed her. And perhaps most importantly, they felt seen by her. Back in the This Morning studio, the atmosphere remained subdued. The usual transitions between segments felt almost out of place, as if the show itself needed a moment to breathe. Ben leaned slightly forward, his hands clasped together. "It's strange, isn't it? You work alongside someone, you see them regularly, you share moments, big and small, and you just assume there will always be more time." Kat nodded. She had this energy about her. Even when she wasn't on camera, she lit up the space. You could feel it. There was a brief silence. Not awkward, just honest. "She fought so bravely," Kat added softly. "And even through that, she continued to inspire people. That says everything about who she was." Across the country, tributes began pouring in. Fans shared clips of Mel's most memorable moments, her heartfelt advice, her gentle humor, her unwavering honesty. Messages flooded social media, each one echoing a similar sentiment: gratitude. Thank you for helping me understand my relationship. You made me feel less alone. You taught me to value myself. These weren't just comments. They were reflections of a life that had touched countless others. In a quiet corner of the studio, a producer wiped away a tear. Crew members exchanged knowing glances. Many of them had worked with Mel behind the scenes. They remembered her kindness, the way she greeted everyone by name, the way she took time to listen. She wasn't just a guest or a contributor. She was part of the family. Ben eventually straightened, taking a gentle breath. "Our thoughts are with her loved ones today," he said. "Her family, her friends, everyone who had the privilege of knowing her." Kat added, "And to all of you at home who felt connected to her because she had that gift, you're not alone in feeling this loss." The sincerity in their words resonated deeply. As the show moved forward, there was a noticeable shift in tone. Laughter returned, but it was softer. Conversations continued, but with an underlying awareness of what had just been shared. Life, as always, carried on. But something had changed. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the world settled into a quieter rhythm, many found themselves reflecting. They thought about Mel, not just the expert on television, but the person. They remembered her smile, her wisdom, her warmth, and perhaps most of all, her courage. Because behind the scenes, away from the cameras and the bright lights, Mel had been fighting a battle that many knew little about. Cancer had tested her strength, but it had never defined her. She remained herself, authentic, compassionate, and deeply human, until the very end. In the days that followed, more stories emerged. Colleagues spoke of her generosity. Friends shared memories filled with laughter and love. Fans continued to express their gratitude, their grief, their admiration. One message, in particular, seemed to capture what so many were feeling. Mel didn't just talk about love. She showed us what it looked like. Back on This Morning, a tribute segment was planned. Clips were carefully selected, moments that showcased not just Mel's expertise, but her spirit. There she was, offering advice with gentle confidence, laughing with hosts, listening intently to callers, making each one feel heard. As the montage played, the studio fell silent once more. Ben and Kat watched along with everyone else, their expressions reflecting both sorrow and appreciation. When it ended, there was no immediate rush to speak. Some moments don't need words. Finally, Ben broke the silence. "What a legacy," he said quietly. Kat nodded. "A beautiful one. And that, perhaps, is how Mel Schilling will be remembered. Not just for her role on television, not just for her expertise, but for the way she made people feel. Seen, heard, valued, loved. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. And that's what she gave to the world. Even in her absence, that light remains. Soft, steady, unforgettable."